Hello and welcome to my latest set of video tutorials. In this set we'll be covering how to create a custom HUD. And in this first part here we're going to be creating a custom ammo meter. The ammo meter is the little thing in the top left corner of your screen that shows how much ammo the gun you're currently holding has. In this tutorial I'm going to be throwing all kinds of shit at you like gradients and formulas, but don't worry, it's pretty easy, pretty short, and you'll have the hang of it in no time. So the first thing we're going to want to do here is open up Photoshop and ignore this hacks down here. Alright, create a new about 264 by 40 72 pixels RGB color 8-bit background white. Alright, this is approximately what size you want. It can be almost any size really, but this seems to be a good size to use. So first you're going to want to create a black background. So just color that in black there. Then you're going to want to create a blue border because we're going to be creating a sprite, and that's what you need to do for sprites. So paint that in blue there. And then you're going to be creating the little ammo things. For me, they're going to be little white ellipses, and they're going to look something like that. So I'll just move that in here where I want it, somewhere about there, and paint that in white. And then I'm going to copy and paste these. Let's see, right there, yeah. And they're going to go all the way across, about evenly spaced out. Alright, as soon as you're done with that, you're going to want to go into your channels here, click the blue channel, and duplicate that layer. Call it Alpha 1. This is going to be our alpha channel, and it's going to show where to put the little ammo symbols in. So go in here and save this as in your weapon. Mine's called flat cannon. Put it in bitmaps. Call this one ammo alphas and save that. Do not save the layers. Alright, once you're done with that, take your alpha channel, and what we're going to be doing here is showing the game how much ammo we're going to have, and we can do that using this little way I created here that pretty much makes it so you get it right every single time. The first time I started doing these, it took about 3 hours to tweak it just right so it worked every time. But now I've come up with this way where you can pretty much get it to work every single time without ever having to go back and change anything. So here's what you do. Do that gradient thing like I just showed you, where you create a gradient here with white on this side and black on this side. Then go to approximately the center of your ellipse and pick that color up. And you're going to want to use that color and paint over the ellipse underneath it. So pick that up, paint that. Next one. And just keep going all the way down. Alright, and go ahead and save that one as ammo meters, and save. Discard the letters. Alright, now you're done with Photoshop. Okay, the next thing you're going to want to do here is compile your bitmaps, and as you can see it's going to give you all kinds of errors here. This is because we're creating a sprite bitmap, and it's currently not set up to be a sprite. So we're going to go ahead and change that. Go to bitmaps and select the two that you just created, ammo alphas and ammo meters. Open those up, and we're going to do the same thing to both of these. Make these both sprites with format 32-bit color, and go down to sprite processing and make the sprite budget size about 256 by 256. You're going to have to make it 512 by 512 if your bitmap is a little bit bigger than the one I created. And make the sprite budget count 1 because each of these bitmaps only has one sprite. Make the bitmap count levels 1 because there's only one bitmap. Save these and go ahead and recompile your bitmaps, and this time they work just fine. So now we can open up Gorilla, go to your weapons, and take the pistol's weapon HD interface. I don't normally like to take other weapons tags, but in this case it'll probably work better for saving time here. Make the total ammo cutoff about 1 higher than what your maximum clip size will be. In this case our maximum clip size is 5. We created 5 ellipses, so make that 6. And the loaded ammo cutoff should be like when you want the ammo to start blinking for low ammo. And let's just make that 1. The anchor offset is the position on the screen depending on where the anchor is. In this case it's the top left. And I'm just going to change this a little bit, 4 by 20. And now we're going to want to go to the interface bitmap and go ahead and navigate to the bitmap we created, ammo alphas, and then come down and make the sequence index 0 because it's the only sprite that we have in that bitmap. Here we're going to want to make this into our bitmap, ammometers.bitmap, and go down to the sequence index 0 and make the alpha multiplier. What we're going to do here is make it 48. Now this number I didn't just pull out of thin air, but you might have had to do that if you didn't set up the gradient that I showed you earlier, and you're going to have to follow this formula. A equals 240 divided by C. C is the maximum clip size, in our case 5, so 240 divided by 5 gives us the alpha multiplier, 48. And that only works because of the gradient we set up in Photoshop and making sure that all worked out nicely. So, once we have that done, I'm just going to change the crosshair bitmap here. I'm not going to cover that in this tutorial, but there are other tutorials out there how to make a custom reticle, and I felt that you can use those because they were pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and save this, and the last thing you want to do here is open up the weapon and go to the interface and make sure that the weapon HD interface tag is set up there. So you can go ahead and save your weapon and go ahead and compile your map with the weapon in it. I already have a map here made that has the weapon ready to test. So I'm going to meet you in game. I'm going to switch to Fraps here because Camtasia doesn't really like Halo, so I'll meet you in a second. Alright, just wait while Halo loads up here. There we go. Alright. Create a game here on the map that I made with the gun on it. So, here's the gun that we're going to be using in these tutorials. It was created by Mythos, and I created his HEV tags for it. As you can see, the pistol icon there, because we used the pistol's icon. Alright, go over to this wall here and watch the ammo meter on the top left. It works perfectly the very first try. Unlike all the other times that I tried it, I spent a long time trying to tweak it, just right. But if you use my method, it will work on the first time, just like mine. Alright, so that's the end of this tutorial. Maybe next time I'll show you some other stuff, like masks for the scope weapons.